We'll go ahead and get started. Alan's going to be starting in child's pose, so if everybody out there, all you peeps, would just kind of settle into a child's pose, go ahead. Big toes touch, take your knees to the outside edges of your mat. Reach your hands to the top of your mat and rest your forehead on the floor. Start breathing in through your nose, out through your nose, and allow your chest to sink down toward your mat. Child's pose is a great way to just to let yourself come to your mat. Try to set everything else aside. Anything that you might have on your mind, just kind of let it go away for a little bit. You don't have to let it go completely, just let it go to the sides. Bring your attention to your mat. Feel the floor, feel the room, feel whatever you need to feel to bring yourself into your yoga practice. Spread your fingers wide. Press your hands into the floor and push your tailbone down towards your heels. And then bring your fingertips to the floor and lift your palms up like spider fingers or tent fingers. And then let your chest sink back towards your mat a little bit more. Maybe shift a little side to side. Shift your body, your torso side to side a little bit so it can settle closer to the floor. On your next inhale, go ahead and rise into tabletop. Bring your hips over your knees, shoulders over your wrists. And for the next about 30 seconds, go ahead and do some cat and cow poses. Drop your belly, look to the ceiling, and then arch your back into cat as you exhale. Tuck your chin to your chest. If little extra movements help, like a little side-to-side swaying or twisting a little bit, go ahead and do those as well. What feels good for you? Dropping your belly, arching your back. Do 2 more sets. Cat pose, drop your belly, look up. And exhale, arch your back, tuck your chin to your chest, come into a cat. 1 more. Cow pose, drop your belly, look up. And exhale to a cat pose. Send your shoulders up, chin to your chest, and then come into a neutral spine. Extend your right foot behind you. Left hand forward. Keep pressing back. Turn your foot down so that your toes point to the floor. If you would like to grab your foot, bend your right leg and grab your foot with your left hand. It's just an option. If you feel yourself wobbling, pull your belly in toward your spine and up. That'll kind of slow it down. Set your eyes to one spot. And I want you to press your foot out and pull your hand the opposite direction to create that tension between your hand and your leg. Flex your toes toward your knee. Lift your knee a little bit higher. Take a deep breath in. Set your hand to the floor. Keep your right leg extended back. Cross it across your left leg and set your toes to the floor. Looking past your left shoulder towards your right heel, working to get a stretch through your side body. Look past your left shoulder. If you want, you can bring your right hand across your left hand to increase that stretch. Heel over toe. Breathe. Take a deep breath in and set your foot and your hand back. Straighten your left leg out behind you. Bring your right hand forward. Inward rotation of your left leg. Point your toes to the floor. Right hand reaching forward. If you grab your foot on the other side, bend your left leg. Grab your foot with your right hand. Flex your toes toward your knee. Send your foot back. Pull your hand the other way. Nice. Belly engaged to stop that wobbly. Lift your knee a little higher. Take a deep breath in. Release your hand back to the floor. Extend your left foot back. Cross it across your right foot. Set your toes to the floor, heel over toe. Look past your right shoulder, and then left hand across your right if you'd like. Give Alan an opportunity to look at his phone. Getting the stretch through the outside of your left side. Nice little lateral bend. Take a deep breath in and set yourself back to normal tabletop. Come into a high push-up pose. Lower all the way to your bellies, all the way down. Keep your hands up by your sides, up by your shoulders, and extend your right arm out to the side. We're going to do a quick shoulder stretch. Loosen the shoulders up. Right arm flat to the floor. Press down through your left hand to roll yourself up onto your right shoulder. You kind of control how much of a stretch you're getting by how much you push yourself into the floor, your left hand into the floor and roll yourself up. Occasionally, your fingers might get a little tingly. If that happens, kind of wiggle your fingers or come out of the pose a little bit and then back in. Hopefully you're getting stretched right through here. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, come back to your belly. Extend your left arm out to the side, palm to the floor. Bring your right hand in like you're doing a push-up and roll up onto your left arm. Again, wiggle your fingers occasionally so that you know they're still working. Nice little opening through your left shoulder. And make your way back to your belly. Create a cobra pose. I want you to take your hands up by your shoulders and press your chest. Just lift your chest about 2 to 3, 4 inches off the floor. Shoulder blades come together. And then if you want to, keeping your feet on the floor, lift your hands off your mat slightly, just to get your low back working. You're going to feel a little bit of a working through your low back here. Set your hands back to your mat and rise into an upward facing dog, or you can stay in cobra if you'd like. Upward facing dog, bring your shoulders up and back so that they're over your wrists. Your thighs lift up off the floor. Maybe sway a little side to side. Kind of roll your shoulders a little bit. Just get comfortable. And then downward facing dog. Take your tailbone up and back. And as you can see, he's starting to cycle his legs. Go ahead and cycle your legs. Walk it out. Bring some looseness into your hips, into your knees, your ankles, your lower back and mid back. Get that twisting action going on. If you should get tired in your downward facing dog and your arms or shoulders get tired, come into a dolphin pose by taking your forearms to the mat. Walk your dog, shift and move. Think of every joint in your body and try to bring some kind of movement into those joints. Bend your elbows, twist, turning his arms and moving around and wrists and stuff. Everything needs a little bit of movement. And then set your feet to the outside edges of your mat, kind of straighten your legs out, and sway your hips really wide from side to side so you get that twisting action happening. One shoulder dips lower than the other. You can grab opposite ankles with your hands if you'd like. Options there. Or do like Alan is doing, just move your hand to the opposite side of your mat. That feels so good. I don't know if you can see his face, but he's smiling. And then settle into your downward facing dog. Set your feet about hip width apart. Let your chest sink towards your toes. And then with small steps, start to walk your feet towards your hands. Press your heels into your mat as you walk. When you get about halfway there, you're going to be starting with your heels down and then roll your toes into the mat. And bring your feet to your hands and bend your knees. Bring your belly to your upper thighs. Hands behind your head, behind your legs, to the floor, whatever feels good for you. I like this pose right here, the way he's got his hands behind his neck, because if you relax, you'll feel all this area in your back getting a nice length, kind of stretching it down. The weight of your arms is going to pull you. Just relax into it. Look at your toes. Lift your toes. Shift the weight into each foot separately and feel the four corners of your feet. That's the ball behind your big toe, the little toe, and the two sides of your heel. Feel those four corners. Lift your toes up, spread them out really wide. I want you to look like you've got fingers on your toes instead of toes. You can almost get your other fingers in between your toes. Yeah, there you go. And then let them rest on your mat. You want to be able to feel the muscles in your feet during class, using those. Shoes kind of keep that from happening, so without shoes on, really work to grip your mat and use your toes as much as you can. On your inhale, create a halfway lift, a flat back. Bring your hands to your shins, look forward, extend your head forward and send your tailbone back. And forward fold. Halfway lift again. And forward fold. Root down and rise up to mountain pose, hands overhead, lift up, and bring your hands to your heart. Let's start class with 1 Om. Take a deep breath in. Breathe into mountain pose. Lift your hands over your head and exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, bringing your belly back to your upper thighs. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Rise up to mountain pose, straightening your legs as you come up. Lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, chest to thighs. Root down through your feet, mount, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Mountain pose, rise back up. And forward fold back down. Flat back, breathe in. Forward fold. Mountain pose, rise up. Yeah, that's what I meant. Mountain pose, rise up. And bring your hands to your heart. Step your left foot back for a warrior 1. Square your hips to the top of your mat. Your left foot's at a nice little angle. Right foot is forward, knee over ankle. Take a second or two to get yourself situated. You want your hips squared to the top of your mat. Shoulders over your hips. Take your hands out in front of you. Lift your shoulders to your ears and back. And lift your hands over your head. Reach up. Your hands are going to naturally turn slightly inward. So your little fingers turn inward toward each other. And you're going to lift through your sternum up. Take a deep breath in, reach up, and open to a warrior 2. Left foot readjusts, right foot stays put, right knee pressing down, left foot pressing down and out. And you want your arms to be strong. You don't want any kind of weakness in your arms. You want to really strong. Push them apart. Your eyes are going to be looking towards your right middle finger. And as you inhale, I want you to reverse your pose. Keep your right knee over your ankle. Nice. Feeling this, getting this stretch. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come back to warrior 2 and step your feet together to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back for warrior 1. Just getting a little bit of warm-ups happening. Warming up your hips, your legs. Right foot pressing down and out through the heel and side of your foot. Left knee over your ankle. Hips squared to the top of your mat. Shoulders over your hips. Shoulders up and back. Lift your hands overhead. That slight inward turn. Sternum lifting up and back. Take a deep breath in. Reach up and open to warrior 2. Looking towards your left middle finger this time. Arms again, strong, pressing out away from each other. Get that action happening. Big hands. On your inhale, reverse the pose. Breathe in, up and back. Left knee stays put. Stretch happens here. Take a deep breath in. Come back to warrior 2 and step your feet together, top of your mat. Back to the other side. Left foot, warrior 1. We're getting the hips warmed up a little bit, the hamstrings and quads. Hips squared to the front, shoulders up and back, hands lifting to the ceiling. This time, take your left hand to your right thigh and create a twist. Be easy with it. It's the first one of the class. Take your time. Right hand to your hip or to your left hip. Pressing down and out through your left foot, the twist happens, your hips are square, so it happens up here in the mid-spine. Thoracic gets the twist all the way up. Keep pressing down and out through your left foot, right knee over your right ankle. Take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, raise your hands overhead, face the top of your mat. Open back to Warrior Two. I want you to try to pull your feet toward each other without really moving them. You're going to create this tension in your legs. You can see he's kind of shaking a little bit. You want your legs to be active. His quads are tight. His calf is tight. And shoot your hands apart. Pull the energy in and push it out. On your inhale, with the action still happening in your feet, reverse the pose. Take a deep breath in. Come back to Warrior Two. Step your feet together, top of your mat. Step your right foot back, Warrior One. Create your pose. See, he's taking his time, finding his alignments, lifting your hands up over your head. Lift up. Take your right hand to your left thigh. Create the twist on this side. You can actually see the action where he's pressing down. His toes are gripping the mat. See it, it's not gripping it too tight. He knows better. I'll call him out. Left knee over your ankle. Right heel or hip shifts slightly forward. This twist is beautiful right through his back. He's just excited because he gets assists today. And on your next inhale, face the front, bring your hands up to the ceiling, and open to Warrior Two. Make it a powerful warrior. Pull your feet toward each other. Core is engaged, chest is up, tailbone is tucked, and shoot your hands apart. Keep that action happening in your legs and reverse your pose as you inhale. Breathe in up and back. Take a deep breath in. Warrior Two, step your feet together, top of your mat. Let's put all this together. Do a little bit of a modified flow. Hands to your heart. Breathe into mountain pose, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Forward fold. Mountain pose, rise up. Warrior One, step your left foot back. Breathe in, reach up. Open to Warrior Two. Reverse the pose. Feet together, top of your mat, hands to your heart. Mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up to mountain pose, hands overhead. Right foot back, Warrior One. Reach up. Open to Warrior Two. Breathe in and reverse your pose. Step your feet together, top of your mat, hands to your heart. One more time, mountain pose, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to change it up a little bit. Halfway lift, flat back. High push-up pose, and press to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for Warrior One. Breathe in and rise up. Exhale to Two. As you inhale, reverse the pose. And high push-up pose. Cartwheel your arms to high push-up. You can take the push-up if you'd like, or go straight to downward facing dog. Left foot, Warrior One. Step forward and rise up. Open to Warrior Two. As you inhale, reverse the pose, up and back. And come to a high push-up pose. Vinyasa if you'd like, or go straight to downward facing dog. There's your vinyasa, up and back, and downward facing dog. Press your tailbone up and back, opening your shoulders up. Nice. Nice work, Mr. Allen. Step your right foot forward for a crescent lunge. Right knee over your ankle, tiptoe of your left foot. Now, if you come into this pose and you feel any pinching in your low back, here's how to get rid of that. Bend your left knee slightly, lift your hip bones up in the front, down in the back, and then straighten your left leg back up. You're going to get a good stretch through your left hip flexor when you do that. But your tailbone should be tucked and more comfortable in your low back. Extend your hands out in front of you. Lift your shoulders to your ears and back, and then hands up and over your head. Lift. Sternum lifts, belly is engaged, heel over toe. That's a nice crescent lunge. He's got his tongue right. Take a deep breath in and lift up. And take your left hand to your right knee, standing twist. There is an element of balance involved, and that's where your core really kicks in. You got to keep your feet pressing down, pulling toward each other, and pulling in, and that's going to help hold you in place. His back foot's going. Great twist. On your next inhale, face the front of your mat, hands overhead, lift up. Bring your hands to the floor, come into a high push-up pose, and just switch feet. Step your left foot forward, right foot back. Rise into your crescent lunge. Again, if you feel any pinching in your low back, see how he bends his knee, tucks his pelvis, and lifts his knee back up. Again, you're going to get that right here. So don't go too deep with it, but get a good stretch there. Lift your hands up. Create that lift and maybe a slight back bend through your upper chest. Take a deep breath in and reach. Right hand comes to your left knee. Take your standing twist. Again, there's an element of balance where your core kicks in and holds you in place. I'm all about the core. I'm all about the core. Gotta have core. You can't even read a book without core. Keep your head nice and lifted, tall, up to the crown of your head. As you inhale, face the front of your mat, hands overhead, lift up, and step your feet together, top of your mat. I just want to see if you can do that without wobbling. Hands to your heart. Mountain pose, reach up. As you exhale, come into a chair pose. You're going to bend your knees, set the weight to the back half of your feet so that your toes are kind of light on the mat. Spread your toes out. Let them rest on the floor. Tailbone is tucked in the back. Take a deep breath in, reach up, and forward fold. Halfway lift, flatten your back. High push-up pose. If you want to take the vinyasa, you can, or go straight to downward facing dog. There's the push-up, up dog, to down dog. Right foot, warrior one. Step forward and rise up. Take your time. Find your feet, set your hips, lift your hands up. As you exhale, come to warrior two. As you inhale, reverse the pose. Extended side angle pose. You're going to bring your forearm to your knee. Your arm is going to extend forward, opening your shoulder, and your left hand is going to reach and mirror your right hand. Hopefully from your vantage point, you can see it's a straight line down the side of his body. That's what you're going for. You don't want your hips to be like lifting up and a big bump. Nice long body. And it's called an extended side angle pose because he's not just laying there and holding it there. He's extending. He's pushing out and down. Get that stretch in the side of your body. On your inhale, come back to warrior two. Keep your right knee over your ankle. Reverse the pose. Come back to warrior two. Lift your left heel to a crescent lunge. Your right leg's getting a workout this morning. Hands overhead when you're ready. Lift your hands up, then bring your hands to your heart. Take your left elbow to your right knee or hand. You can still do the standing twist if you'd like. It's your choice. And notice he's not laying on his leg. He's pressing his knee into his elbow into his knee, and he's lifting up so his hands come to the center of his chest. He's got a little bit of sweat going on. I got him all sweaty. Yay, my job here is done. My work is done. Reach the crown of your head forward. Take a deep breath in. Set your left hand to the floor or to a block if you need one. Right hand comes up to the ceiling. Press down through your left hand. Your right hand is stacking over your left hand, reaching up. It's like a warrior 2 or a warrior 1. Your arms are reaching apart. Take a deep breath in. High push-up pose, vinyasa, or go straight to a downward facing dog. Alan chose the up dog, vinyasa to down dog. Nice work. Left foot, warrior 1. Breathe in, rise up, set your feet. Create that strong, powerful warrior. Open to warrior 2. Reset your right foot. Looking towards your left hand, pushing out. On your inhale, reverse the pose. Bring it up and back. Extended side angle pose. His elbow is going to come to his knee, keeping his shoulder open. Right hand reaches forward, and his palms are going to mirror each other. Again, that straight line down the side of his body. You can look up past your armpit. You can look towards your hand. You can look straight towards the wall in front of you. You can look at your TV. You can look at your dog. Or if you've got a goat, those little goats that just run up and sit on your hand. On your inhale, rise back to warrior 2. On your inhale, reverse the pose. Come back to warrior 2. Raise your right heel for crescent lunge. Heel comes up, knee lifts, left leg pressing into your mat. Deep breath in, reach your hands up, and bring your hands to your heart. Right elbow to your left knee, take your twist. Again, press your elbow into your knee, lift your chest up. Yummy, yummy. Good stuff. Take a deep breath in. Your right hand comes to the floor, left hand up to the ceiling. He has such a pleasant face on right now. He's like, He must be enjoying the stretch today. Yes, he am, he says. Lift your hands up, press your right hand down, creating that extension. Deep breath in, and high push-up pose. If you took the vinyasa, or want to take the vinyasa, take the vinyasa, or go straight to a downward facing dog. That's your options. Take your time with it. I may say all kinds of poses on here, but this is your practice. If there's something that feels better for you, I want you to do what feels good for you. These are just suggestions. I'm just a motivational speaker here. I say that all the time, but it's true. Walk your feet to your hands, come into a ragdoll pose. Bend your knees enough that your belly lays against your thighs, and this is where the good part gets. We're getting to the good part. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Did you shower yesterday or this morning? Grab your toes. Hopefully you did. Grab your big toes. Hold on to your big toes. And on your inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Pulling against your toes. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do 3 more of these. Halfway lift, flatten your back. And forward fold. 2 more left, halfway lift. And forward fold. Last one, send your head forward, flat back, tailbone goes back, and forward fold, release. Take your left hand to your right toe. Take your right hand behind your back, press it into your hip, or raise it up to the ceiling. You're going to bend your left knee, keep your right leg straight, and turn your chest toward the right. Now, with your left elbow, bend your left elbow and gently pull your head towards your mat. Alan's eyes kind of rolled into the back of his head. He's like, I think he likes this one. You want to loosen up these muscles in the back of in your lower back. That's where a lot of trouble comes in. And I know Alan does have some back issues, and this is usually a really good one for me. It warms it up. It really gets it loosened up for me. Take a deep breath in. Pull your head a little bit closer to your mat, and then forward fold. Take your right hand to your left big toe. Bend your right knee. Keep your left leg straight. Left hand either behind your back or over your head or lifting up. Stacking. Nice. And then bend your right elbow. Pull your head gently towards your mat. And there went his eyes. Bloop. See this stretch? See how it's twisting him? How it's getting that nice little, it starts kind of flat here, just kind of twist right up. That's what you're going for. Take a deep breath in. Bend your elbow a little bit more. Pull yourself into it. And then forward fold, release the pose. Chair pose. Bend your knees and bring your hands to your heart. Twist left elbow to your right knee. There are a lot of options you can take here. If you have any options that you're working on, like the binds, half binds, full binds, side crows, anything like that, go ahead and create those. Just be mindful. Watch out for the dog. Watch out for the cat. Watch out for the kid. And by kid, I meant baby goats. Let's see how long Alan can hold this. Take a deep breath in and forward fold. Come back to your chair pose. Bring your hands to your heart and twist right elbow to your left knee. I was like, well, that wasn't very long. See the sweat building up on his back? Huh? Oh, he says you guys can't see that. Yes, you can. I will show you. It's right there. He's got a wet line down his back. Take a deep breath in and forward fold. In your forward fold, if you want to grab a block or a cushion or whatever, bring it under your fingertips. And I want you to walk your forward fold. Kind of bend a leg, straighten a leg, bend a leg, straighten a leg. Your hips are gonna rock. You know, one's gonna come higher than the other. Just kind of work it out. Raising one heel up, bringing your chest a little closer. See, he's moving organically. He's finding what feels good for him. That's what I want you to do in your practice. Every time you practice, find what works in your poses for you. And then slowly roll yourself up to mountain pose. If you have issues with balancing, I'm going to have Alan demonstrate the best way to really set your feet, the four corners of your feet, into the pose. So hopefully you can see his feet really well. You're going to set your feet, spread your toes, and I want you to kind of pull your big toe back towards you if you can, and set the ball of your big toe into the floor. Spread your toes out, and when you sit down, you're going to feel this part of your foot, and the sides of your heel really pressing into your mat firmly. That's your balance. Both feet, bring them in. Set them parallel, and shift your weight over to your left foot. Raise your right knee hip height. And we're just going to hang out right here for a second. He is like nice and tall. Bring your chin back a little bit. There you go. Crown on your head, lifting up. I didn't touch him. It wasn't me. Go ahead and take your right hand to your right knee or to your right big toe. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, open your right leg out to the side and extend your left arm out to the opposite side as a counterbalance. If you want to bring some little advance into it, look towards your left hand. His left foot is just resting on those four corners of his foot. Toes are just lightly on the mat. No white toenails. His right toes are spread out like little fingers reaching for like candy or something. Take a deep breath in. Bring your right knee back around to the front, left hand back to your hip, and then set your foot back to the floor. Nice. Shift your weight into your right foot. Reset your four corners of your right foot, and bring your left knee hip height. Pull your belly in and up, engage your core. Kind of hang out here for a second. Belly button over your right foot. Take your left hand to your left knee or big toe. On your next exhale, open out to the side. Keep your left toes flexed up. You don't want to, like a dead foot just like hanging on your back into your leg. Bleh, like a dead towel or sponge. Right hand extending out, looking towards your right hand. His belly button is still over his right foot, holding him in place. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring your knee back around to the front and set your foot to the floor. Nice. Tree pose. Shift your weight back to your left foot. Now, there's 3 different places you could put your foot safely and comfortably. One is like a kickstand. The other is into your calf. And there's another one up into the thigh. Try not to put it over your knee. Pressing out, it could be dangerous. Could cause problems with your knee. Belly button is over his left foot. His right leg is out to the side. This is a hip opener. Hands to your heart. I think I scared him. At least I'm not standing in front of him waving my arms or anything. Press your foot into your thigh. Press your thigh against your foot. Bring your hands together and press them tight together. Set your eyes to a fixed point and engage your belly. When you're ready, hands overhead, lift your fingertips up to the ceiling. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Crown of your head lifts. You've got a very bendable sapling today for a tree pose. Lift up, pull through the sides of your body. Be powerful in this pose. Take a deep breath in, reach up. As you exhale, your hands come back to your heart. And then set your foot to the floor. Boy. Left leg is not feeling it today. Shift your weight to your right foot. Left leg into kickstand, calf or thigh. Press in tight. Pull your core in and up. Lift your belly in and up. Press your hands tight together. That center of your body is where all that energy is pressing in. From your skin to the muscle to the bones. Pull that power in. Hands overhead when you're ready. Lift up. Again, little fingers turn inward toward each other. Crown of your head lifts. You are power. It's your power doing this. Lift up. Be the power. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands back to your heart. And then release your foot to the floor. Maybe we should do a fun bounce to see if we can really fall and make him trip up.
Let's do that.
Now, let's come into figure 4. We'll come into figure 4. Left foot strong. Bring your right foot into a figure 4 over your left. Flex your toes back towards your right knee. Come into a chair pose. You can take your fingertips to the floor to a block if you need to. It's more, for me, it's not just about the balance, but it's also about the hip. As you settle down, I want you to bring your chest closer to your top leg and try to bring your tailbone parallel to the floor as best you can. Fingertips to a block or the floor, hands to your heart. You can create a shoulder stretch, hands behind your back. If you want to do a twist, take your right elbow to the inside of your right foot. There's a lot of variations you can take. Just watch out for the dog and cat. Sit your tailbone low. You should start to feel this in your hip. It's going to warm up your hip a bit. If you're feeling this in your knee, remember, flex your toes back towards your knee on that right foot. Take a deep breath in and begin to rise back up. Switch to the other side. Did you feel that in your hip?
That's good.
Good deal. Left foot comes up and over your right. Figure 4. Flex your toes back towards your knee. And come into your chair pose. Settle down into it. Fingertips to the floor or block if you need to. If you did on the other side, try to repeat what you did on the other side. Sitting your tailbone low, chest towards your top leg, toes flexed towards your knee. Hopefully you're feeling a nice little warming sensation through your left hip, left buttock. You ever just want to push somebody over when you see them balancing? Feel like, poof. And then slowly rise back up. Step your feet together, top of your mat. Actually, let's come into triangle pose. So I'm going to have Alan, left foot forward, right foot's going to come back to the back of his mat, triangle pose. So what you're working to do is you're bringing your left foot so it's lined up with the edge of your mat. Your right heel is going to be in the same line with your left foot, but your right toes are going to turn towards your left foot slightly. Bit of an angle. Now I want you to pull your right hip so it's back even with your left hip in that same line, and then take your arms out to the side. So you are like flat body. Slide the top of your body forward. Reach your left hand forward. Left hand comes down, and your right hand will stack above it. So you should be able to see this pretty well from his right finger is here. His left finger is directly under it. Pressing down through his right foot, pulling his shoulder back. This is one of his favorite poses. He's told me that anyway. If you want to add something to this, you can come into a half bind or a full bind. Half bind, just your right hand comes behind your back and presses into your left glute. Full bind, it's a whole other ballgame. That's a different class. Reach the crown of your head forward. Press down through your foot. Reach up. Yeah. On your inhale, rise back up. And we're going to switch to the other foot. Turn your right foot back, left heel in the same line as your right foot. Toes turn slightly towards your right foot. Hips square and flat. Reach the top of your body forward. Towards me, towards me, towards me, towards me. And then right hand comes down, left hand stacks. I love the way he windmills his arm. It really helps get your shoulder in place. Your palm faces the direction of your face. Left eye, right eye looks towards your right hand or left hand. I don't know which hand he's using. Pressing down through his left foot, bringing his left shoulder back. How you guys holding up out there? Give us a thumbs up. He's breathing hard now. And on your inhale, slowly rise back up. Pivot your right foot parallel to your left foot. Now there's a lot of different forward folds you can do. I want you to pick one and come into a forward fold of your choice. You can come into a side split. Those of you who are working on a crow pose, you can do a crow pose. If a headstand feels like, hey, I think I'll do a headstand today, come into your headstand. Create a forward fold of your choice. A shoulder stretch works really good, whatever you want to do. A combination of the three if you want. Headstand, shoulder stretch, what all that together. He's going for side splits. I think I'll just have a seat on his back and kind of help him down. Keep the breath alive. Keep breathing. He's going to be needing a longer mat pretty soon. Nice side splits. We'll hang out here for about 5 more minutes. Nah, I wouldn't do that to him. Slowly begin to heel toe your feet back together. Walk your feet back in. And when you get them about hip width apart, go ahead and come to your knees. We're going to come into a gate pose. We're going to get back to our side stretch. So with your right knee to the floor, extend your left foot out to the side. Bring this edge of your foot parallel to the edge of your mat. And bring your left hand behind your back, or if you want to come into cow-faced arms, you can, by bringing your left hand up between your shoulder blades and connecting your right hand to your left hand up and over. Now, if your right hand is up to the ceiling, cool. Keep lifting up. Lift your hand up to the ceiling. He's going to lift his elbow, lift up, and then try to take it towards your left foot. Up and over. Get the yummy stretch all the way down your side. You're keeping your hip over your knee on that right side. You don't want to lean into it too much. You want to keep your hip over your knee. It gets part of that IT band a little bit. Lifting up and over. And his eyes just rolled in the back of his head again. It's like, He must be getting some good stretch today. And as you inhale, come back up, switch to the other knee. Left knee to the floor, right leg extends out to the side. His arms feel about 4 inches longer. This time, bring your right hand behind your back, up between your shoulder blades. If you connect into cow-faced arms, left hand comes up and over, connecting your fingertips. Or left hand is up to the ceiling, reaching up and towards your right foot, whichever variation you're taking. Again, it's your practice. If you really want to work into that cow-faced bind, what you can do is you can take a towel and kind of work your hands together until you can grab your fingertips. That's just a good little practice to get into it slowly. Keep reaching up and over. And as you inhale, slowly rise back up. I want you to turn and face the front of your mat, but come onto your back. Your feet are going to be forward. And come onto your back. You should be pretty warmed up by now. So I think, your back, Alan's just kind of chuckled. Yeah. If you're not warmed up, I've been doing something wrong. He's all sweaty, or did he spill your water? He spilled his water. Set your feet straight ahead. We're going to come into a bridge pose. Set your feet straight ahead, about hip width apart. And fingertips are going to be down by your heels. Your fingertips, he can brush his heels with his fingertips. Okay. Press down and forward with your feet. Feel the four corners of your feet. And I want you to tilt your pelvis up slowly. And then like I'm lifting you up with a thread, one vertebrae at a time, lift your hips toward the ceiling. Nice and slow. Keep your core engaged by keeping your pelvis tucked. Lift, lift, lift. Maestro, I say. Like a puppet master. Lift up, belly comes up, hips rise up. You can see his quads are activated, they're strong. Pressing down, these muscles right here, just like digging in. Strong quads. Lift up through your back, increase the height of your hips. You can roll your shoulders under, grab your hands behind your back, or if you just want to, keep your arms by your sides, that's your call. Take a deep breath in, and as slowly as you came up, I want you to slowly lower back to your mat. Take your one vertebrae at a time, back down, core is still engaged, tailbone is the last to come down. Keep your feet to the floor, swing your knees from side to side. Cool. Do that a couple of times, then bring your knees in and give them a squeeze to your chest. Squeeze them into your chest. And then squeeze them to the sides of your body. Pull them down and toward you. Now, what class would be complete without my core exercise? We've got to have a little bit of core warm-up, or core work. So, extend your feet up to the ceiling. Reach your heels up, pull your toes down towards your face. I want you to lift your chest up. Reach your hands towards your toes, but don't grab them. And at the same time, kind of lift your tailbone slightly up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your shoulders. Keep your right foot up. Lower your left heel to a hover. If you want, you can take your left foot to the floor. It's your choice. Left hand to your right big toe. Don't grab it, but just reach for it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet up. Reach for your toes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your shoulders. Keep your feet up. One more set. I want you to lower your heels slowly towards your mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press your heels away. Pull your toes back. Shoulders up, reach your hands towards your feet. Try to keep a flat back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to chest, give them a squeeze. Yay! Alan said, now if you want to pause and do 20 more on each side, 20 more, like 2 more sets, 3 more sets of that, all that, the whole thing, you go right ahead. And then restart the video. I'll wait. Knees to chest, give them a squeeze. And then you're going to cross your right leg over your left, back into that figure 4 style. Flex your toes back towards your knee. Reach through and grab your left leg and pull it forward into eye of the needle. pulling it towards your chest. As you do that, you can take your elbow and press it into your right thigh and push your right thigh forward. Also, I'm sure you can see his foot. His foot is active. It's not just like, relax it. It's not just like, blah, dead foot. It's flexing, toes back, heel away, both feet. Bring some action into that. That's going to bring that quad into it, bring that calf into it, really work your legs and your core and your hips, all of it. I mean, you're there, you may as well do it, you know. Right? Right? Yeah. I mean, pillow fight. Going to hang out here for a little bit. I'm going to read from the book Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart. It's not the reading for today. It's just a reading that I just happened to open the book to earlier. It's called The Spiritual Experience Is You. When I look at people now, I don't see issues, he said. I see souls. The men said he had a spiritual experience. Actually, he said he had 4. He didn't go to the mountains or to the ocean or to the desert to have them. He had his 4 spiritual experiences in the same place, in the parking lot outside of a Shell gas station in Portland, Oregon. The car filled with light. I filled with light. My heart just opened up and I forgot everyone I was resenting. He continued, even my ex-wife, he laughed. We don't have to search for spiritual experiences. We are the spiritual experience. A spiritual being having a human life. Look at the people around you. Now look again and see their souls. See them having many kinds of spiritual experiences in the form of human life. Go ahead and switch to the other side. Left foot up and over your right. Flex your toes towards your knee. Reach through, grab your right thigh, pull it towards your chest, and press out with your left elbow. Keep your feet flexed. When you look for holy ground, just look down. That's where your spiritual experience takes place, right where you're standing and wherever you are right now. Don't know how, but every time I open that book and read a passage, it always just seems to pertain to something going on. For those of you who have not seen our EPY Empowered website or YouTube channel yet, definitely check it out. We've got some good stuff popping up on there all the time. Mark has been working like crazy getting good stuff up there. He did a video yesterday for his mom and dad. It is such a great video, the beginning and ending. He's dedicated it to his parents. It's really cool. EPY Empowered, and subscribe. That way you'll know when new stuff pops up. We'll keep Alan here for a little bit longer so it matches the other side. Oh, see, now he decides to pull his knee towards his chest. Now he's going to take the pose a little stronger because I noticed he wasn't. And he stuck his tongue out at me. See what I have to deal with? See? Keep your knee pulling in towards your chest. Press out with your left elbow. And then release the pose. Bring both knees to your chest and give them a squeeze. Rock a little side to side. Then you're going to rock forward and come into a seat with your right leg tucked in and your left leg extended out. Going to come into some forward folds before we finish up class. I want you to lift your hands over your head, come into a staff pose. Keeping a flat spine, hands reaching up, crown of your head up, fold from your hip creases and reach your nose forward towards your toe. If your left leg bends a little, that's okay. Getting back to the washing your toes thing, try to smell your toe. Reach your nose forward. And then rise back up. Tuck your left leg in. Bring your right foot forward. Extend your right foot out, heel away, toes back. Staff pose, lift your fingertips up, crown of your head lifts with a flat spine. Fold from your hip creases, reach your nose towards your toe. Try to smell this toe. And then release that side. Extend both of your feet out in front of you. If you want to go wide leg, you can, your choice. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Reach the crown of your head forward, nose towards your toes. Try to smell both your toes at the same time. Folding from your hip creases. Again, if your knees lift, that's quite all right. He's walking his knees a little bit. Again, be organic. Find what works in your pose. If coming into a forward fold doesn't feel like much, make it feel like something. Walk it out, move a little bit, shift. What's going to help you get more from the pose? And then release the pose. You're going to come onto your backs. Bring your knees to touch. Take your feet to the outside edges of your mat like a letter A. Let your knees drop to the left. Take your left foot and set it on top of your right knee and extend your arms out to the side. Look towards your right hand. And let gravity kind of pull you into that nice little spinal twist. Right shoulder comes back to the mat. And switch to the other side. Knees come back together, drop them to the right. Right foot comes on top of your left knee and look towards your left hand. Let gravity just take over. Final rest. Let's get ready for Shavasana. Lay yourself out, take your feet slightly apart, arms off to the sides, palms up. Close your eyes and rest. Begin bringing yourself awake a little bits at a time. Kind of move your fingers and toes. Maybe roll your ankles and wrists a little. If you want to shift your hips side to side, turn your head, whatever you need to do. And when you're ready, roll onto whichever side of your body is most comfortable for you. And from that side of your body, make your way to a comfortable seat. We started with an Om. Let's close the same way. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in. With love and respect, namaste.